have a new book and new story. The name of the story is The Great Big Enormous Turnip. And we can start for at our first pages and the end of reading the stories, okay? And now one more time sit there reading about it is Under the Cherry Blossom Tree. We read it at yesterday and we're the end of reading the stories, okay? And now, are you ready for these two book and two story and with some lots of characters? And now here we go. And first we can read Under the Cherry Blossom Tree, okay? But instead of mosquitoes, fish began to swim in a hole at the top of the landlord's head. The fish got bigger and landlord was rather pleased with that. Now, won't have to buy another cart from a fishmonger. I said it's money in a bank. He came to close a circling. The landlord looked forward to the afternoon from his garden. He always sat up straight to be sure not to lose a single fish. And while he slept, the villagers enjoyed peaceful afternoons. It was our only time to wicket by not complaining. Tabo, the bravest boy in the village, was the first to notice a fish jumping on the top of the landlord's head. One day after school, Taco sneaked up in a landlord's house and Matthew and the old man began to snore. Tabo skinned his friends. "Let's get some fish from the old mister," said he whispered. And the boys got started fishing poles and fished silently as he careful not to get a hook into a landlord's nose. Luckily for the boys and the landlord was a very heavy sleeper. He snored and dreamed for rice cakes and delicious carp. One day, Tabo hooked the biggest fish the boys had ever seen. And the great carp had motley lip and jumped in the landlord's head with a big splash. And the landlord woke up and started, "Wow, what's this? Water, cold water. Ah, here breaks my fish." Oh, the fish had fallen out. The ginormous fish had come out in the landlord's head. But I don't know why the people have some big hole in his head and have a fish inside in that hole. What a strange man. I think this man is made up of wood, not a real human. But why is some tree come out of a tree in his head and he get out of a tree and there's a big ginormous hole in her head and it make a big hole and take inside the water and the fish are living on that hole. But the Tabo hooked the biggest fish in the all wide world he had ever seen. But an angry shell laughed at his feet. "You have bleeding the breaks. I'm not to live to his feet. The thieving rapes. I'm your landlord. Now dare you revenge on my steal my fish." Yelling and screaming, the landlord chased the boys into a valley. He is so blind with rage didn't see a rock in front of them and tripped it. "Ah!" cried the landlord. And everything had happened once. The landlord flew head over heels into the air, and his feet sank in a hole in his feet, and suddenly the whole body disappeared. All that fell to the landlord was a lovely pond in the belly. Oh, good. And when the children came out of hiding in the sawturnip, swimming lazy in a deep, clear water. "Look at that magnificent fish," said Tabo. And the children ran home and spread the news. The villagers heard that happen and overjoyed. They gathered around in the pond and sang and danced at a time that way. And there was an excellent bird every now and then. Air buzzed with the honeybees and cherry trees bloomed all at once. And before long, the pond that came known the happiness spot in a valley. So this landlord made a happiest spot pot and a belly. Wow, and the ginormous two fish had been stored in that pond. And now the end I'm reading this under the cherry blossom tree. And I love to have a cherry blossom tree in my garden, but I don't want to have a cherry blossom tree in my head. And now the end I'm reading this cherry blossom tree story. And one more time after reading about it, some new books and new story, a great big enormous turnip. A great big enormous turnip might be very, very big, ginormous big. Now let's start it. Once upon a time there is an old man planted a little turnip and said, "Grow, grow, little turnip. Grow sweet, grow, grow, little turnip. Grow strong." And the turnip grew and sweet and strong and big and enormous. And then one day, the old man went to pull it up. And he pulled and pulled again, but he could not pull it up because it's great, big, enormous turnip. So it's so heavy. He called an old man. The old woman pulled an old man, and the old man pulled a turnip. And they pulled again, but they could not pull it up. So the old man pulled her granddaughter. "Come on, granddaughter." So the granddaughter put the woman, and the old woman pulled the one old man, and the old man pulled a turnip, but they pulled it and pulled it again, but they couldn't pull it up, the turnip. The granddaughter put a black dog. "Come on, black dog." So the black dog put granddaughter, and the granddaughter put the old woman, and the old woman put the old man, and the old man pulled a turnip, but they pulled it again and pulled it again and pulled it again, but they couldn't pull it up. So they need to have lots of more people to make the turnip go out in a garden. And the black dog called a cat. "Come on, cat, woof, woof." So the cat pulled the dog pulled the granddaughter, and the granddaughter pulled the old woman, and the old woman pulled an old man, and the old man pulled a turnip, but they didn't pull a turnip because there's not enough people to pull the turnip, because the turnip is very ginormous and very big and ginormous. So the cat called the mouse. "Yeah, come along, mouse." "Oh, but I thought the cat eat a mouse." "But how can cat hold a mouse?" And the mouse put the cat put the dog, and the dog put the granddaughter, and the granddaughter put the old woman, and the old woman put the old man, and the old man put a turnip. But they pulled and put it again, and up and came a turnip at last. So finally the turnip had fallen out. Look, that's very ginormous, so they can eat and cook with this turnip. Wow. And now the end of reading the great big enormous turnip story with some grandma, with some old woman and an old man, with a granddaughter, with a black dog, with a mouse, with a cat. Some lots of children take out the big ginormous, great big enormous and ginormous turnip. So they eat happily ever after. The end. And these two stories are the end of reading. So tomorrow we read a new book and new story. Oh, and tomorrow my friends are coming to my house. So I'll be invite them, I think. Okay? And now, bye for now. And if you like my YouTube, please thumbs up my YouTube. And if you didn't thumbs up my YouTube, seeing my today's YouTube, please thumbs up my YouTube right now. Okay? And now bye for now, and have a nice day every time, and a happy Saturday. Bye bye. Have a nice day.